It's Christmas time, baby. It's Christmas time. You know, it's Christmas time. I love Christmas, personally. I think I've talked about this in a previous episode, but I just love the time of year because I like it when it's cold, personally. Hate it in the summer. That's a side tangent. Basically, the UK, big buildings will have air conditioning, so you can make it, like, cool. But the houses don't unless it's a really posh, fancy house. Then you'll have full house air conditioning and heating and everything. So in the summer, it is unbearable. Basically, anything over like 20 degrees is just not good. You can't sleep. You're sweating all the time. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to eat because it's hot. It's like, people who like summer are ridiculous, personally. I much prefer autumn and spring. And I love winter, mainly just because it's cold and it's dark, so I can sleep a lot. Anyway, hello and welcome back to the Lion's Den. I'm your host, Matt, as always, and we're so close to the end of this year, and I'm so excited because I've been on a mission today. So I have no idea what I was supposed to get my family for Christmas, I'll be perfectly honest. And like I said previously, I don't know if they've even gotten me anything for Christmas because I've been a bad boy. No. But when I did ask my parents sort of what they want, my mum did mention about having a new TV in the kitchen. So when she's cooking, she tends to put the TV on. She'll be watching like Pointless or other quiz shows because she's quite smart. She's very good with general knowledge, so she's always watching those sort of things. And the TV we've got in there is this like 14-inch, really old Toshiba or one of the other T brands in England that exists, and it's not a good TV. It sounds absolutely awful, and it has very poor viewing angles, so unless you are dead on with it, you ain't seeing anything on that TV. I slightly upgraded it by putting my Chromecast in, because once I got a 4K smart TV, I don't need a Chromecast anymore, do I? That thing just has YouTube built in, which is really useful, but then it means now that the TV downstairs in the kitchen has a Chromecast, so if I'm cooking, for example, I can put YouTube on, because that's what I would prefer. But yeah, she mentioned about maybe having a better TV in there. So I set off looking. I went looking around different stores here in the UK. Online, obviously. There's no point going into town just to look at TVs. And I found one. It's an LG, which is a good brand. And LG are known for making really good displays. It's much bigger. It's a 21.5-inch display, which is leagues ahead of what we've got down there currently. It's full HD, which is nice. That's the thing that surprised me, is the one we've got currently is still full HD. Nuts. Yeah, so this is full HD as well, which a lot of lower end TVs, and especially small TVs, are that weird 13 something by 768. Horrible resolution, and especially when it's on a like 32-inch TV, that's way too low a resolution. It looks so blurry. It's not good. So I picked this one specifically because it's full HD. It's, I think, an IPS panel, which is a very good technology. It'll be leagues ahead of what we've got in there currently, so hopefully she'll have a much nicer viewing experience in there. And it's kind of a perk for the rest of us, because when any of us are then in the kitchen, we can use a better TV. So I had to go collect that from a store, because obviously it's a physical item. You can buy it online, but then you have to actually go pick it up. And I went to pick it up specifically because obviously my mum is at home most of the time, so if it came delivered and my mum was home, it kind of ruins the surprise. So yeah, I went out with a ruse. I just said, I'm going out this morning because I'm gonna go have breakfast. I'm gonna get McDonald's breakfast as like a treat for myself, because I do the whole once a month thing, and then I paired it up with going and collecting the TV. So we've got it. I had to sneak it into the house while she was drying her hair from having a shower. That was very convenient timing. I didn't want to leave it in my car, mainly because it's cold today, and I was kind of worried if I left it in like a cold car for too long, it might damage it or something. I don't know. It probably would have been fine, but better safe than sorry. The next thing was then wrapping. So very fortunately, my mum has gone out this afternoon, so that meant I had the entire house completely free to just wrap this without having to worry about her walking in and seeing me doing it. And obviously my dad and my sister are in on it and everything, so that's fine. I had to get all of the wrapping paper stuff out and everything because they'd already put everything away from whenever they used it and finished with it. Obviously, it's the 23rd. Why are you wrapping presents now? I am. And yeah, have you ever tried wrapping a TV? It's not an easy task because it's a huge box. Even for a 21-inch TV, it's a pretty big box. So I have some experience with wrapping gifts. Not a lot, honestly, because I'm really bad at buying gifts and half the time I don't end up buying gifts. But I managed to wrap it. I think it looks pretty decent. I don't know how you're supposed to hide the seam of where the two ends of the paper fold over, especially because I would have done it one like lengthways, but the problem is the paper isn't tall enough to have done it that way. You would have ended up having like the box exposed, so I had to do it widthways, which then meant that there's an overlap of the paper, and now you can see the overlap. And yeah, I did my best, honestly. But then funny thing was I thought, oh, I'll put some ribbon around it, like jazz it up a little bit. I've never put ribbon around a present, so I had absolutely no idea how to do it. And I kind of fumbled my way like halfway through the process, and then was sat there thinking, how do I tie it off now? How do I make a bow so that it's tied and stays in place and it's taut and everything? And my dad walked in and I was just like, Dad, I have no idea how I'm supposed to tie this off. And he was like, oh, you just slip it under here and then you can tie it and pin it down. I was like, oh, okay, sure, thanks. And I stuck a little pre-made bow on it, and I've put a card on it that says, to Mum, Merry Christmas. So it's now currently hidden in my room, and I can say that as loud as I like because nobody is in the house currently. My dad popped out to go to the shops. So yeah, it's hidden under my desk, and my mum is not going to be looking under my desk, let's put it that way. Especially because that would require her to bend down, and her knees are not the best. So I'm excited about that because hopefully she'll be pleased. Yeah, Christmas. Love it. I love this side of it now. Honestly, I enjoyed Christmas when I was a child for getting stuff, and was really excited because half the time obviously they were like, oh, what do you want? I want XYZ, and then that's what I'd end up getting. Because I you know, as a kid I had a decent understanding of money, and I never asked for things that were prohibitively expensive and then end up being disappointed because obviously, yeah, I could ask, I don't know, for a console, but that's stupid. Why? We can't afford things like that. But you know, if I ask for a DS game, yeah, that's probably within reason. And obviously as I got older, my parents were then like, oh yeah, here's kind of your budget, you know, it's X amount of money this year if you can do that. So I'd be like, okay, cool, I can rein my expectations in. But now I'm doing the opposite. I'm buying them something. And obviously because I'm an adult and I have a job and I have money, I can actually afford to spend on my parents, which is nice. Like the other week I paid for them to have some drinks. They wouldn't let me pay for the meal, annoyingly, but they let me pay for some drinks. Obviously I'm now sharing the price of this TV with the rest of my family for my mum. So that's really nice because it means you can buy good stuff and stuff that's useful. One year that I actually did buy presents because I was at university and we weren't in the middle of a pandemic. I bought people useful stuff. So like I bought my mum some candle holders because she really likes Yankee Candle stuff. I bought my dad a magnetic screw armband thing so that when he's doing sort of like DIY stuff and let's say he's like drilling up into the ceiling, he's got a magnetic wristband that then holds screws. So he's actually used that and I'm happy that he's used that and it's useful. I don't remember what I bought my sister that year, I'll be perfectly honest. So I'm sure I bought her something. Who knows? But yeah, it's nice. I like the giving part now. I've transitioned from liking the receiving part to liking the giving part. And hopefully that says something good about me. Maybe I'm just being, I don't know, a stuck-up person being like, oh, look at me, I'm all morally high and stuff. Who knows? So, but I suppose the nice thing as well about getting it and wrapping it 2 days before Christmas is you don't have to wait very long for that, like, gratification of knowing whether they like it or not. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I could talk about my booster jab. That was fun. Yeah. So the problem is I work a 9-to-5 job, right? So when do you go get stabbed with a needle? Basically afterwards. I booked an appointment for 5:05. And then thankfully my boss was just like, yeah, you can shift your hours. And I worked 8:30 till 4:30. So then I had plenty of time to get down to my GP and get stabbed. So that was fun. It was really quick. They would just in, out, stab you, bye, see you later. You don't have to do the waiting period anymore, which I imagine is to stop a bunch of people sat in a room potentially spreading the virus, and also to just mean that they can then continually give injections to people. I was fine. My arm was like sore, and it's very slightly sore now, 2 days on. Yesterday was weird. I didn't feel ill, like my brain was perfectly fine, and I wasn't feeling any like flu or cold symptoms that you might get sometimes when you have an injection. The one thing I did get though was that like weird tingly cold sensation you get when you have the common cold. You know, like your muscles ache a little bit and you feel kind of weak and drowsy. That's what I had, and it was bizarre. And especially at night when I was trying to sleep, I had that sensation in my underarms of like tingling pain. Now that's because you have lymph nodes in your armpits, if you didn't know. Science fact, medical fact. Not that I'm a medical professional at all, but that was weird. So, hey ho, don't be worried about getting your injection. Some people have a very severe reaction, but it's very, very rare. Some people just feel absolutely like poop for a day and then they're fine. Or you could be like me and you get a very weird symptom, but it's manageable. So, you know, you do you. Go get jabbed, please. Right. Hope you've all enjoyed listening to this. I hope this sounds good as well. I tried a slightly different setup, and I'm actually kind of shouting, which is why I'm glad there's nobody in the house. But hopefully if I've done it right, I'll be able to have very minimal noise. So that's good. Have a Merry Christmas. I'm recording this before Christmas. It will still come out on Sunday, hopefully, if I get my act together. And I'll see you next week for a pre-New Year's episode. That's going to be interesting. So yeah, it'll be recorded before New Year's and then uploaded after New Year's. So that's going to be cool. Hopefully I'll be able to tell you a little bit about what's happened for our family in Christmas. Right. See you all later. Bye.